$4 billion, some of the sharpest engineering minds on the planet, and a name worth more than the GDP of entire countries. They had the patents, they had the factories, they had the trust of an entire industry resting on their reputation like a crown no one dared touch. They built the car in every simulation imaginable: wind tunnels, mountain passes, test tracks in Germany and the Nevada desert. They announced it at international auto shows with lights, smoke, and rehearsed applause. The press said it would change everything. Investors called it the future. The car never arrived. Not the way it was supposed to. The software slipped. The range was overstated. The interior felt like a concept car that gave up halfway through. Competitors that had been written off as irrelevant started taking segment after segment. Stock prices collapsed. Executives were replaced. The product was quietly discontinued. And they still got it wrong. While the legacy giants were burning through resources defending a position that no longer existed, while the old guard patched software that never should have left the factory and issued apologies wrapped in press releases, a joint venture between three of the most dangerous companies in China was building something completely different. Not a response, not a derivative, not a Me Too with a new badge. Something built in a room where the rules of the automotive industry were explicitly not invited. Chang'an, CATL, Huawei. Three organizations that had each already rewritten their own industries. Together, they started working on a machine that treated every assumption in luxury automotive design as a suggestion and ignored most of them. And that's where the story gets out of hand. On the surface, the Avatr 12 looks like a grand coupe. Long, wide, and low. Over 5 meters of body pressed to the pavement, nearly 2 meters wide, riding on 21-inch wheels. LED headlights with a C-shaped signature, a silhouette that moves like water. Ex-BMW designers worked on this shape. You feel it in the proportions, the visual language the Germans spent decades perfecting. It looks, in other words, like something you've seen before. That's exactly the trap. This car has no side mirrors. Not retracted, not hidden, eliminated. Replaced by high-definition cameras feeding digital displays inside the cabin. No drag, no wind noise. No blind spot created by a plastic block jutting off the car at 75 miles per hour. The aerodynamic gain alone would be worth talking about. But that's not even close to the most radical design decision made on this vehicle. This car has no rear window. The roofline simply closes, sheet metal where the glass would be. The panoramic sunroof extends all the way to the rear passengers because there's nothing at the end of the roofline to interrupt it. A 4K camera with hydrophobic lens embedded flush into the roof antenna delivers everything a rear window ever offered with more precision. Rain slides off on its own. The image is sharper than your eyes would ever deliver through glass. And we're still just getting started. Step inside, and what you find isn't a car interior. It's the concept of an interior taken to its absolute conclusion. Nappa leather covers every surface. Suede lines the headliner. Natural wood runs the length of the center console. The design language is called Vortex, and it pulls everything toward a single point, a 35-inch 4K display mounted at the far end of the dashboard, commanding the cabin the way a stage commands a room. Next to it, a floating 15-inch display. Running underneath all of it, HarmonyOS 4.0, Huawei's operating system, executing with a fluidity that makes you realize most car interfaces were designed by people who've never seriously used a smartphone. The steering wheel is square, Formula One architecture, flat top and bottom, because someone in that room decided this was a driver's car, and a driver's car needs to feel like one. But what comes next changes everything. In the rear, the Avatr 12 does something that shouldn't be possible at this price point, and probably won't be for long at any price point. The rear seats operate on what the engineers call a zero-gravity system. They recline, they elevate the leg rest, they run massage programs mapped to specific pressure points. The floor is completely flat, no tunnel, no intrusion, nothing compromising your legroom. The panoramic roof extends over your head. Two 50-watt wireless chargers with active cooling sit within reach, and the trunk is separated from the cabin by a full metal barrier. No tire noise bleeds through, no road vibration, nothing. The rear of this car is quieter than most 5-star hotel rooms. That's where the gap becomes uncomfortable. The battery comes from CATL, the company that supplies cells for a significant share of the world's electric vehicles, including many of the cars that have been called best in class for years, built a 94 kilowatt-hour pack specifically for this platform. It charges at 800 volts. 10 minutes of charging, 124 miles of range recovered. That's not a marketing estimate. That's the architecture working as designed. It charges while you grab a coffee. You leave with range that used to require an overnight stop. Total real-world range exceeds 310 miles. Output reaches 578 horsepower. Torque hits 487 pound-feet. 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. These aren't numbers you negotiate around. They're numbers that end conversations. At this point, it's no longer competition. Let's talk about the car the Avatr 12 gets compared to most, the BMW i7. One uses traditional optical mirrors. The other eliminates them entirely, replacing them with cameras. One offers a rear view through physical glass. The other delivers a 4K camera image through a waterproof lens, always clear, rain or shine. One runs an infotainment system built by a car company. The other runs HarmonyOS, built by the company that manufactures some of the most advanced telecom hardware in the world. One charges at standard voltage. The other charges at 800 volts. One leaves rear passengers comfortable. The other reclines them, raises their legs, and massages them in near silence. This isn't a comparison, it's a generational gap. This car doesn't compete, it replaces. Now let's talk about what's on the roof. There's a LiDAR unit behind the windshield, internal, invisible, scanning everything ahead. 2 more LiDAR units in the fenders. 11 cameras covering every angle, radars filling the gaps. The system reads the road surface 500 times per second, cross-referencing camera and LiDAR data to predict what's happening with the pavement before the tires even make contact. The suspension is pneumatic. It adjusts before problems arrive, not after. The system is called Huawei ADS 3.0. It's not a driver assistance feature. It's a fundamentally different relationship with what driving actually means. Autonomous parking on this car is real. You get out, you walk away. You tell the car where to park through your phone, the car finds a spot, parks itself, and returns when you call it. This isn't demo mode. This feature operates in live traffic in China today. And this is where the industry loses control of the narrative. Think about what this means on a Monday morning behind that square steering wheel. The car scanned the road before you hit the pothole. The suspension adjusted before you felt anything. The cameras flagged the vehicle in your blind spot before you ever checked. The rear passengers are reclined, connected, isolated from road noise by a metal barrier. The 35-inch display is running navigation, media, and climate as a unified interface, designed by the same company that supplies chips to modern smartphones. You charged in 10 minutes at the station on your way in. You'll arrive with range to spare. When you get to your destination, you step out, tap park on your phone, and walk in. Go back to that company at the beginning of this story. $4 billion, the engineers, the announcements, the simulations, the wind tunnels, the applause, all of it built on the assumption that the future of this segment would be decided by whoever had always decided it. While they were running those simulations, managing those supply chains, and protecting those margins, a joint venture that nobody outside of China took seriously was hiring ex-BMW designers, integrating Huawei's AI stack, and speccing a CATL battery that redefined what fast charging can mean. The failure wasn't the product, it was the worldview. The assumption that because something always worked one way, it would keep working that way. The assumption that luxury means what it meant in 2015. The assumption that buyers in this segment aren't paying attention to what's coming. They are. The Avatr 12 is arriving in North America, and it will cost significantly less than the German alternatives it was engineered to outperform. You're not being asked to sacrifice comfort for technology. You're not paying a premium for an unfamiliar name. You're being offered a machine built from scratch by people who had nothing to protect, no legacy, no dealer agreements, no 30 years of brand equity to manage, and built it the way it should have been built the first time. The question isn't whether this car is good enough. The question is whether you're still measuring good enough by the standards of an industry that already failed to see what was coming. You're not choosing a car, you're choosing which era you belong to. The problem isn't that this is here. The problem is you're still looking back.